Hi YouTube, FT here, and I've got a parcel, and this is for all my old subscribers. It's a parcel from Airsoft World. Oh. It's a parcel within a parcel, so let's take a look at this one. Glock 18C. Now this is a KWC, but it's ASG branded. That's nice. Why did I get the KWC? Because it goes with my other one, albeit my other one is a little bit smaller, but the magazine should fit. Yep. These are just stickers that peel off. There's no branding on it at all, except a tiny little bit of ASG branding here. Semi or full auto modes. Yeah, good. Green gas, yeah, puff delo, good gas. So this is what I bought, an APS, I think it's meant to be Carbine, or for Carbine, Action Combat, pistol to carbine conversion kit. And we'll take a look to see how it's done. These are the parts it comes with. To open it up, you have a pin here and a pin here. Now these pins are held in place because they have a notch which they have to go through. So you actually rotate the pin until the little grommet on the peg or on the pin lines up with the notch in the hole, and then you can push it through and then pull it through from this end. And what happens on this now is the whole front end will slide off. And then this rear end here, you push the stock adjust lever, pull it all the way back. And now this pin here, you can rotate. On mine, this pin is very stiff, but it's the same principle. You rotate it until the notch on the pin lines up with the hole, then you push it through. There's the pin sticking out, then I can pull it all the way out, and that will allow me to slide the whole sling mount rearwards out of the way. This basically hinges along these hinge points. The whole lot can come open, and you end up with this piece. This is your cocking lever, and there's two types. There's the G17 type and the G18 type. And the only difference is that the G18 type has this cutout to allow for auto or semi-auto selection to be made. But they share the same bar that goes through the cocking levers. In order to swap them over, there's a little Allen key grub here. The Allen key is provided, and strangely enough, along with another two spare grubs. You basically unscrew this with the Allen key, slide this metal bar out, slide it into the one you need, and then do the grub back up through the hole. So I've already done that. So this is for the 18, and it actually says on it Airsoft 18C, and the other one says Airsoft 17, and here we have the 18C. And this is totally empty, no magazine in it. How this works on the Glock, this is the first piece you have to install. It's got a big hole in the top which goes over the rear sight. Just slots over the rear sight, simple as that. Where the cutout is, you can move to semi-auto or auto with the selector, and to cock the pistol, just pull back. So we then place the pistol into the frame. You can see here the shape of the trigger guard, and you marry that up with the shape here. Just like that. It sits in that simply. No fuss at all. We can then shut this up and make sure that the cocking lever goes through the hole here. We can put in the rear pin by sliding this back over, aligning the little notch. I don't know if you can see that notch. There's a little notch on that pin. That has to line up with the notch cut out. And as long as you do that, they'll just push straight through. Now this is so tight it won't fall out, but you can still rotate it to lock it in place. And at the front end, I don't know if you can see that there, we've got the front of the Glock. Well, we basically just slide this over. It's got grooves here which go over these rails with the rail on the bottom, and we slide it over. Once it's on, it just slides over like that. And to hold that in place, we have another pin with a notch on it. Goes in there and locks, and that is it. The conversion is done. But we don't leave it like that, because we have been provided with this fantastic little foregrip, and this basically has a push release, which again has a little peg here that locks into your rail. So we'll just get that on to start with. It basically just slides on, and that is it in place. Push button here, folds down, and you've got your forward grip. Push button up, you can hold it like this. But I'm not leaving it there either, because as I said before, I have these. Now these are the plastic copies of the Magpul pop-up sights. So we'll get those on, and these are dead simple. You have an Allen key nut here, and I happen to have an adapter on my screwdriver, and you unscrew it, because that holds it on the rail. This just slides onto the rail. So if I can show you how this works, you put it over the rail here, you basically just push it on, and it's quite a nice tight fit. The only thing you then have to do is to line up the hole with one of the rail cutouts, and when you've done that, you can push this back in and do it up. Now that won't move, and the way it's activated, you can either push down on one of the tabs and it pops up, or you can push down on the whole piece of the front. And then we repeat the process for the rear sight. We unscrew the bolt. Now to get it on the rear of the rail, you do need to extend the stock fully back. You can then pop this onto the rail and let it slide over it. So you slide it on enough so this is level with the end of the rail. but you need to make sure it's also in line with the hole. And then you push this through and go ahead and tighten it up. Right. So there it is, and now the beauty with these is you can just flick down the lever here, pops up, and you've got front and rear sights. Now this sight is adjustable through this wheel here for left and right, but also you have a little notch on the top of the eyepiece, which if you push it down, see this piece here, you've now got a big rear sight here, which I believe is called the combat sight. There you are, you can see it there. If you flick that thing back up, you've got a much smaller aperture. So that's the small one, that's the much larger one. When you don't want these, just push them down, they lock up out of the way. Here's your cocking lever. I'm going to dry fire this, so I've got a magazine with some gas in it, but no BBs. So let's lock it back. So we pulled back on the cocking lever and locked it in place. We can go ahead and insert the mag, then release, and then as we fire, cocking lever locks back. If I hold this down, that's the magazine, everything functions just as it should. The other beauty about this is you can pull this down now and you've got a good, I'm not left-handed, but you've got a good grip, full grip. And you've still got an area for your laser or torch light, whatever you want to add on here. You can have a scope mounted to the rail. It's a reverse process, so I always start at the back, pull this back, rotate the pin so it's ready to come out, push it through, it comes out, just pull it all the way out, and then that will slide out of the way. The same on the front one, we rotate this front pin like so. If you can see it there, pull it all the way out. This whole front piece will now remove, just slides off. So if you had attachments on there, they'd be okay. Obviously if you had wires you'd have a problem, but that just comes off in its own right. This is pulled back. We can then hinge this open, and as you see, things sitting on the rail, do not interfere with that. Take your Glock out, and there it is. I think it's a fab piece of kit. It's not new. It's been around for quite a while, I understand. So you can see how easily this thing goes back together. I think that's what's making this so tight, is the sling mount doesn't quite go well. But there we are. You get this card, and it is card, it's not paper, it's card, with step-by-step pictorial and written instructions on how to do everything I've just shown you. The other thing to note here is that in Europe this is distributed by Cybergun, which is of course a French company. Just before I go, I want to show you, I have attached a laser here. You can see the laser. And I can now rotate this pin take it out, and the whole front with the laser will slide off. And the final thing is the sling attachment can be transferred to the other side. Just push the middle and it pops off. You can then put it on the other side and it locks into place. So there it is, the APS Action Combat pistol to carbine conversion kit. I think it's a good bit of equipment. So thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you on the next video. Cheers.